Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm, of course, your narrator supreme, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo. We just dropped a new Predator video over on the main channel. Hope you guys have had a chance to check that out. If not, it's going to be up there for your viewing pleasure. Coming to you from Shabby Road Studios. With me, as always, Mr. Tom Connors.
Hello and good day.
Thank you very much. And with us, as always, the ever lovely and vivacious Mecha Random Game User 42. I think that's your name now, isn't it?
Well, it's just Mecha Random 42, but people still remember me as Random Game User.
I want to know what Doomcock did with the first 41.
I don't know.
I don't know. No, it took 41. It took 42 tries to get it right. So that's like WD-40. That's what WD-40. It's WD-40 because they got it right on the 40th try. So
or Heinz 57 sauce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or there's an A1. I don't remember.
No, I think you're right with Heinz 57. Yeah.
Heinz 57 because there's 57. There were 57 varieties of pickles. So, anyways, we love to talk about pickles all night and relish and condiments and all that sauerkraut and all that kind of stuff. But we got a look at some Captain Marvel pictures, didn't we, Tom?
Yes, we did indeed. We thought we were going to get a trailer, but when she said EW last night on her Twitter, I'm like, we're getting an Entertainment Weekly spread first.
And it couldn't have been like some publication that's cool,
They usually get the first exclusive of all these. But I'm not surprised. But we probably will get a trailer very soon. That's generally how this works. So, but yeah, I know you guys had some choice words about some of the images you saw. Random even did a video about it. So,
well, I mean, I guess if you just look at the image, and pretty much any picture I've seen of her, she kind of looks like a teenage girl who's sitting there bored and annoyed at her parents at the dinner table while she's trying to text and they keep trying to talk to her, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's so lame." So that's kind of her expression in all of these. But my biggest issue, though, is of course the cover that says "The future is female." That one kind of triggers me as a non-SJW type, I guess.
Yes, because as I said on Discuss, whatever it is, when I saw that it worked so well for Star Wars, didn't it?
Yeah, or Star Trek. Star Trek even had the future is female crap. Like, I don't know why do they do that? Why are they trying to piss off half of the people who will watch this movie? And probably more than half, because I'm sorry, but males tend to be more comic book superhero movie leaning for the most part. I mean, yeah, you're pissing off half your fan base.
Don't you know there's no such thing as gender anymore? It's all fluid. I woke up today and I identified myself as a basketball. Don't you know that? Don't you impose your gender roles on me, Miss Mecha Random.
I have gender fluid.
Yeah, I do it in the shed.
I will not have any of your gender identity politics.
Fluid all over the wall.
I'm becoming triggered.
Gender fluid is the stuff that you self-lubricate with, right?
Gender. That's KY jelly.
Why? What?
Yeah. Oh boy, that's what it's about. It's pandering to that audience. If you're here.
And those people don't go to see movies. They might go and see a movie maybe one time. They'll go and cosplay as her. They'll buy the pop figure and then they'll be done with it the next week until the next big thing comes out. They aren't like your super fans who are going to go and see these movies 1,000 times and obsess over every detail. They're not going to buy every single comic book and back issue. Stop pandering to these people. They don't care. Just make a good movie. Who cares who's in it? Who cares what gender they are? And maybe, I don't know, maybe if you had somebody a little bit less plain and bored looking and somebody, I don't know, maybe a little hotter, even a Katie Sackhoff type, people might go, "Oh, she's cute. I want to watch this movie because she's cute."
Yeah, she looks.
Sackhoff sounds like something naughty in Britain. I'm going to go sag off behind the tree over there.
Yeah, I keep saying loud motorcycles are going by.
And pop figures. It's funny. I finally bought some of the first pop figures I ever bought that weren't given to me. I hate them so much. And that was just because they were Gremlins ones. But anyway.
Oh, those look cute, though. Those actually look like Gremlins.
Yeah, some of the newer ones are better, yeah.
Gremlins ones would sound awesome.
The original ones look stupid. The new ones they got coming out now look better. They look like shrunken versions of the actual Gremlins. But anyway, so I'm not. I don't like the future is female thing.
Well, yeah.
It sounds too much like the Force is feminine to me.
The Force is female. Yeah, that
or
worked out so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ask Kathleen Kennedy how well that works out. She's still in witness protection.
Yeah, nobody's seen her for months.
Yeah. Was she in the shed with
Jake and Ren?
Oh,
yeah.
no.
You weren't supposed to know that.
Well, I can't always identify a corpse on the floor.
Tyler Bioshock R says, "Who would you prefer, random? I'm with Rob. Yvonne Stravosky. Yes."
That even sounds bad.
Yeah, I like the Stravosky all the time.
Who's Yvonne Stravosky?
She was in Chuck. She was in that show Chuck.
I didn't see her.
Trust me, she's way hotter, and not by a little.
Okay. I mean, as long as she doesn't look bored and indifferent, because, like I said, she looks like a teenage girl at the dinner table texting. I mean, she just looks annoyed and bored.
Well, yeah. Well, the other thing, we got to see like Jude Law, and I don't know who's Jude Law playing in this movie.
There was supposed to be a breakdown of that, I think, in the EW. If one of you want to bring that up, real quick.
Let's see. Let me hit mute and I'll see if I can find it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of excited for this movie. Outside of the whole, little thing with the whole EW cover, I kind of like the idea of it being in the 90s. I don't know. I'm not totally turned off by it. I'm not
Jude Law.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Jude Law is actually playing Marvel, Captain Marvel.
There you go.
There you go.
So, if this is taking place in the 90s, why doesn't she have the Rachel haircut? Did they forget about that, or they're kind of all 20-year-olds who've never heard of that?
Well,
made it?
Don't you know that hairstyle is repressive to women? We should not have to be bound by the media's gender identity role. Don't you know that? I'm getting triggered.
Oh, maybe she should shave her head then and go G.I. Jane. Another 90s movie.
She should not have to look like a man to be taken seriously.
Which is funny because if this was probably made in the 90s, Demi Moore probably would have played her. But anyway.
Demi
or
Moore
Jennifer
is too far too left pitching your feminine ideal to play this role. You should not have to cast according to someone's outward appearance.
Well, then maybe don't parade her around on the cover and say.
Wait a minute, though. Now, shouldn't she actually have superpowers if she's going to play this part?
Yeah, exactly. She's not a superhero.
Said it's not an origin story. So.
No, I know, but that's the whole thing with people with disabilities or being gay or whatever playing a part. But anyhow, if it got explained of a joke, it's not working out evidently. So, okay. But no, I'm throwing up as many of these pictures as I can here and there, but.
Well, we see Ronan in one of his
pictures. Which actually just popped up. Ronan, what are you doing?
Nosferatu? Why is there a vampire on a beach?
I don't know. That is like the worst Creed album cover ever.
The Krill.
Yeah. Can you take me higher? Yeah, I mean the Skrulls. I mean, we see the Skrulls. It looks like they did a pretty good job with
the Skrulls. That's what I meant. Sorry, I said the Krill. My bad.
Yes, this is like Creed back on the beach. And of course Brie Larson has a 9-inch nails T-shirt on because nothing says 90s like 9-inch nails. Oh God. Oh man.
What if she really been listening to Nine Inch Nails, though? I mean, if she's got like a Nine Inch Nails shirt on in one shot, and then like a Amy Grant shirt in the next or whatever, or Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, then I'm going to say, okay, you're just kind of throwing every 90s reference at the wall, right?
She'd be listening to the Spice Girls. Who's she kidding?
Yeah. Well, what year in the 90s, though? They didn't really come out until like 96 or so.
Right, that's what I was wondering. I think that this takes place in, 92, 93? I thought I heard. I can't remember for sure.
I thought 95.
It could be. I couldn't remember. I can't remember offhand. Don't you have it in front of you still?
I shut that close that
God
window.
Damn it, Rob.
Hold on. Let me see. Captain Marvel plot
I closed that window a long
Stretch.
time ago. My life has
Stretch.
never been the same since.
IGN. Should we take it from IGN or Movie Web?
I don't care.
CBR.
There you
CBR
go.
has it, but they're going to work in a Miles Morales reference.
Miles Morales is not in this movie, unfortunately.
CBR is wishing Miles Morales was in it. CBR, I swear to God, CBR gets a boner every time they mention Miles Morales, diversity, or something. Okay, hold on.
I don't know. I really want to see a trailer before I judge it too much.
Yeah, let me go to IGN, even though they're a shit website. Hang on. Okay, early development. We know Captain Marvel. Blah 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 blah. Nobody cares. They're encouraging me to read their privacy policy. That's nice of them.
Mm-hmm. Do you have to sign over your
hold on.
firstborn?
Early development. Yeah. The cast, Brie Larson. Okay, the setting. If you're wondering how Captain Marvel can feature characters like Ronan and Korath when they already died in 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, that's because the movie is set in the past. Most, if not all, Captain Marvel will take place in the 90s, a time when these Kree villains are still alive. Ooh. Look for the film to take advantage of the retro setting by paying tribute to 90s action movies. We hadn't necessarily done anything like that before, so there's definitely homages to our favorite 90s action films within Captain Marvel, Feige told Entertainment Weekly. Feige also reveals Captain Marvel is actually the first superhero Fury encountered during his long tenure at S.H.I.E.L.D. Wouldn't the first superhero encounter be Ant-Man? Well, anyways, it remains to be seen.
The original,
comic
maybe,
inspirations.
but...
Future Cap. Okay, so it takes place in the 90s. He doesn't really say when in the 90s, but I read it was like 1995, 96 maybe, that magical year 1996. So I don't know what you guys were doing, but
that was a very
going
good
to
year.
concerts. Yeah, I was going to a lot of concerts in '96.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. But anyway, Steven Anderson, Michael Douglas looked great in the Ant-Man prologue. Yeah, that was cool. They made him 25 years younger and Haley Atwell 25 years older. That was actually cool. Yeah, Agent Coulson. Actually, yeah, Tyler Bioshock. Agent Coulson's supposed to be in this. Well, like I said, the whole thing about she looks like she's annoyed. She's like, why do I have to wear this? I'm an Oscar winner. What am I doing in this movie? Maybe it's just a bad still.
But every still, like every production like leak that we've seen, she looks kind of bored and annoyed. Every single one. Mm-hmm. And now the cover here, it's like she's trying to smile but not really, like not be too pretty, because I mean you can't be too pretty anymore, or else they'll jump on your case. This is
I should not be held to your ideas of beauty.
Well, then I'm not going to look at you and watch your movie. I mean, half of my appeal for these are, are the actors going to hold my interest, and whether they're aesthetically pleasing, like sexually, or whether they're just interesting as actors. And she doesn't really seem that interesting as an actor. And I don't know anything personally about her. It's just I'm going by body language.
I mean, I've seen her in a few movies. She's not horrid, but she's nothing to really like write home about either.
Yeah, nothing memorable.
All I remember is that she has no ass. She has no ass. Like, you think they like pat it, so it's like get that badonkadonk going. So, but the
only thing I'm really gonna naysay is I didn't like the cover. It looks like her head is photoshopped onto that body for sure.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, I'm not totally turned off by this. You guys, I told you going into it, I'm probably going to have a little bit of a different opinion on this one, and some people are probably going to call me a Marvel lover, but I'm curious. I'm very curious.
I'm not saying I'm not trying to be overly critical, but I'm just listen, if we all agreed there would be this channel wouldn't be interesting. That's the thing. But I'm curious as well to see something, see a trailer, to see some kind of footage. But I'm just noticing, like, the whole idea is these pictures are supposed to get you excited. I'm like, yeah, I'm having a hard time getting excited if she's not excited. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. She doesn't look very excited or interested. I mean, what are we supposed to do? A lot of how people watch movies in this day and age are how excited people are for it, and it's all subconscious. It's all something that kind of that people pick up on body language and the emotional cues. And if every production footage or photo that we're seeing of her is bored, disinterested, then that's kind of going to be the buzzword that keeps circling around social media, and it's going to get into people's subconscious, and then they're going to be like, yeah, I'm bored and disinterested by this movie.
Yeah. Did you still have that up, Rob? They were asking about the actual story.
Yeah, it's not going to be an origin story. Supposedly, she's already going to have her powers. Hold on. Well, I'm looking. Captain Marvel went down. The autofill went to Captain Harlock. So, plug for Captain Harlock. Let me see if I can go right to Entertainment Weekly. But the whole thing about, well, the thing is, a no origin story is going to be good, because we don't want to have to sit through someone. Well, in her case, in Captain Marvel's case, it might.
I was going to say, I don't know anything really about the character, so I'm a lot like the general audience, to where I'm probably going to need to know a little bit about her. How she got her powers.
Maybe if they could do like some sort of flashback montage or something, to where they're not going to fill like half of the movie with it. And because sometimes when they have these origin stories in these Marvel movies, they're spend so much time building up how they get the powers, and then they have kind of a throwaway bad guy. So I don't know. I'm also kind of coming in from being like not the hugest Marvel movie fan.
Well, in the comics, there was a time when her power used to manifest herself. It was almost like a split personality. She would actually black out, and she would know the Creed power would manifest. So I mean, fuck. Now I'm having trouble pulling up. See 10 exclusive images. Well, they have 10 exclusive images from Captain Marvel. So let me post that link in the chat.
Yeah,
but it's not. We're
gonna have to move on from it here soon anyway, because we do have a few other things to talk about.
Well, it's all about it. The plot supposedly about the Skrulls come to Earth, and they're living among us, because the Skrulls are shapeshifters. Nerdrotic, there isn't much there. They have retconned to death in comics. Yeah, that's the other thing. Nothing. We saw a picture of Monica Rambeau, Mary Rambeau, who was actually Captain Marvel in the 80s during the whole Secret Wars thing. Rambo, Rambo. Yeah.
Kick your ass.
Beavis. Oh. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Related. E.W. Carroll, somewhere between Earth and the Sky. Before long, finds some. Okay, hold on. Military. Yeah. E.W.'s cover finds Carol somewhere between the Earth and the Sky. A fitting place for heroes trying to figure out how to reconcile alien abilities with their more human flaws. Directed by Anna Bowden and Ryan Fleck. Captain Marvel sidesteps the traditional origin story template. And when it begins, Carol already has her powers. She's left her earthly life behind to join an elite Kree military team called Star Force, led by Jude Law's enigmatic character. But they don't want to say that he's Marvel, because she's trying to grease the tracks for her. But before long, Carol finds herself back on Earth with new questions about her path, and she's got a formidable enemy in the form of the Skrulls, the notorious Marvel baddies made all the more dangerous by their shape-shifting abilities. Ben Mendelsohn plays their leader, Talos, who spearheads a Skrull invasion of Earth. Speaking of Earth, Captain Marvel takes place in the mid-90s, long before Steve Rogers was defrosted or Tony Stark built his first suit. That allows the film to introduce a younger version of familiar Marvel faces, like Jackson's Nick Fury, who still has two eyes, still two-eyed Jess Jockey, as well as let Carol carve out her own unique space in the MCU. Okay, so that's a few details they have. Then EW said they're going to be rolling out more details over the next few days. I'm like, you motherfuckers, you're going to have to keep me coming back to this site.
Which means we may get a trailer this weekend. Never know.
Maybe a teaser.
Never know.
Never. Oh yeah, teaser.
But
they did show some footage at I can't remember which convention it was, but it wasn't that long ago. So there's
it was the Shriners. That's the
yes,
little
it was.
They came out in those little cars,
with the fezzes.
The fez. Like, that where you think Harvey's a member of the Shriners?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He got his fez. It's a wonderful. All right, we got more stories, don't we?
Yes, there's some CBS news and less Moonves news, is there not, Rob?
CBS, we're not stuffy anymore. Yes. Actually, there's the talks going on between CBS and National Amusements, which is Viacom's parent company. I pulled this off of Deadline. This says it's exclusive. Not anymore, it ain't. Just weeks before the fall TV season starts, the bitter legal battle between CBS and National Amusements over corporate control and a possible merger with Viacom may be coming to an end. The Les Moonves-led company, which fired the first cannon with its May 14th breach of fiduciary duty suit, and the Redstone family-dominated holding company are in settlement talks, we've learned, with a myriad of issues on the table in the now multiple lawsuits. The recently started sit-down has not come to a conclusion over the fate of CBS CEO Moonves, who's been accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault. The two law firms are conducting independent investigations into the allegations and broader questions about workplace conduct reporting to the subcommittee of the CBS Board of Directors. The Moonves matter is currently being treated as separate from the ongoing talks as the dual investigations proceed. Sources say CBS board members met throughout the Labor Day weekend to discuss resolving the contentious case against its controlling shareholder, National Amusements. One of the media company's independent directors, Bruce Gordon, apparently has been advocating a deal to resolve the legal dispute. It's going to go to trial. There's a trial coming up on October 3rd in the Delaware Court of Chancery. And it was, and on September 14th, there was a motion to compel in the intricate matter of stock slicing. This is a clusterfuck. So as I say, let me just sum it up here. CBS's May filed suit is certainly high stakes gambit to assert its independence from Sherry Redstone. So they sued to break away from National Amusements and Viacom. The media mogul who succeeded her father at the top of the media empire that also includes Viacom. The civil suit accused Redstone of trying to intimidate the board of directors, preventing CBS from exploring merger possibilities with partners other than its corporate sibling Viacom, and pressuring the CBS CEO over terms of his contract. National Amusements has denied all these allegations. As the two sides exchanged legal barbs, the New Yorker magazine in late July exposed. You got to put the accent mark on there, guys. Expose detailing allegations of unwanted touching by Moonves raised questions about how much the board knew and the wisdom of mounting a legal battle with Redstone and National Amusements. CBS declined to comment on the talks topic, as did National Amusements when contacted by Deadline. Okay, so it looks like there's movement here. So it looks like there's some movement. How much we don't know, and we're not sure if Les Moonves is going to survive. That's the thing. We've reported on this many times before. Yeah. Sherry Redstone wants a guy by the name of Bob Backish to run the whole company, and if that happens, and that's the whole thing, Les Moonves has pretty much been fighting for his career, really. And whether or not he stays, I mean, he gets 85
before the controversy.
Yeah.
So now it's like he's fighting with a bullet in him, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a regular Alexander Hamilton.
Well, he kind of brought a lot of it on himself, though.
You know
Oh
what?
yeah, no denying that. I'm just saying.
You don't poke the bear, you know. But anyway, the bear, that's his pet name for Julie. But anyway, we digress. So there's gonna be a few more. I got a feeling this is not the last we're gonna hear of this. There's gonna be a few more developments. I have to think that there is going to be some sort of, and to use a corporate buzzword, there's going to be, in the end, there's going to be some sort of corporate synergy between the two, between Viacom and CBS. I'm not sure if they're going to merge, but I think there is going to be some sort of cross-pollination between the two. And I think I'm thinking
CBS might be running out. Really? You think he's going to survive?
I don't think he's.
I think he's already out the door. To be honest.
So?
I do.
Okay, well, not the first time.
You could be right. I'm not saying, but I think between these talks and all this shit, I think he's out the door.
Well, let's take a bet. Let's make a bet. If he survives, what do I have to do? What do you have to do?
I'll have to think on that. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's just make things interesting. So, okay, but anyways, yes. So Moonves has been kind of quiet lately. So he's in the shed. He's in the shed with
Kathleen
and Ren and Jake. Yeah. Jake's peppering. So Les, I got this idea for a sitcom. Okay. So anyway, yeah. Anything else here? I think Moonves is playing a retirement with Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah.
It's all about a guy named Jake who lives in a shed.
So okay, what are your guys' takes on this?
I don't know. I think he's probably just laying low because anything he says will be used against him pretty much. The same thing with like Kathleen Kennedy, same thing with all of them when they kind of I don't know. I think they're if they're kind of out there talking about who's replacing them already, then I don't know if it looks good, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know enough about the behind the scenes stuff to really. I mean, I want him gone, obviously, because he's kind of destroyed Star Trek. So, if that helps. What about you, Tom?
As I said, I think he's already out the door. I mean, I'm sure he's still there in name. I don't know if he's actually physically doing any operations as of this time, because I've been surprised they haven't gotten rid of him already, or at least put him on leave during the investigation, because I'm sure we're going to hear about that real soon too. Now, as far as CBS and Viacom, CBS is running out of options. They want to merge or buy up a studio of some type. Well, Viacom already has a studio, Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount.
And Paramount's in dire straits. This whole Les Moonves thing does not look good for CBS. So it may look better for them now more so than we first started reporting on this, for them to merge back with Viacom. Do I think it'll have any major effects on Star Trek? Not right away. Not for a while at all, because a lot of that still all depends on the Bad Robot deal. So I think that there's still things that'll be hung up with that for a while. And unless there's some kind of, I don't know, unless something undoes that, if there is a merger, then that's where that still sits. But I know that's what Sherry wants, with Les being basically in the position that he's in. I kind of see things going more that way.
Yeah.
Bob Backish will probably be heading CBS before long.
Oh, he'll probably be running the whole show. I mean, CBS, Viacom, Paramount. I mean, probably the whole thing. And it's not, you know, I did, like I said, about CBS running out of options.
Well,
Paramount.
just before you say something though here, just to add into this, because wasn't one of the people that was against the merger somebody who used to work for Verizon? Wasn't it? And there was a whole Verizon merger, or is it another company I'm thinking of? But something to do with CBS.
Well, Verizon was CBS was looking into a merger with Verizon at the time, because Verizon, I think they owned Yahoo, and that would give them, more.
But
more
wasn't there like a couple
web
people on the
footprint.
board though that it would benefit them or something like that? I could be remembering it wrong. So
Yeah, there was. I'm having trouble. We did so many of these stories. I'm having trouble keeping all of the things straight. But I was
regardless,
about to say,
forget that you were saying, yeah.
But I was saying though, but the list of assets owned by Viacom, they own a lot of stuff, Viacom. But at the same time, and I keep pointing to this, when I was putting together a video about the fall of the Daily Show, there was a document, a 99-page PDF document, which I think I still have on my hard drive somewhere, saying that Viacom is currently a creatively bankrupt culture, and there was a guy, Philippe Dahlman, who was running it, and he did no favor. He actually put them in this situation that they're in now, because one of Philippe Dahlman's things this is back in 2007. Philippe Dahlman, when they were riding high, they had both Stewart and Colbert on Comedy Central at the same time. And Philippe Dahlman actually said, "Do we really need both of these guys?" Well, I'm like, congratulations. Now you've got none of them. Now you have neither of them. And like I said, think about all the stuff Viacom had in its stable, like South Park, The Daily Show, The Colbert Report. They had MTV networks, and they had Nickelodeon. They had Nick Jr. They have they have BET. They have a lot of networks. What was that?
TV Land as well.
TV Land.
Showtime is a part of the CBS part, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, and they actually had Spike TV, which is now the Paramount Network, and oh God, remember Most Extreme Elimination Challenge? That was some funny shit, man. That was some really funny shit. But now it's like Viacom, like you said, and the whole Paramount thing. They're in a situation where I think they need CBS more. And if they're going to launch a turnaround, they've been trying to turn themselves around. And even if Paramount does have $15 billion in debt, Paramount still does have some assets. And I think that, and like I said, I think it's not going to be a complete and total merger. I think there is going to be a lot of cross-pollination between the two companies. Thoughts?
Probably. No matter what they do, as long as they can fix Star Trek or stop destroying it, that's kind of the biggest dog I have in the fight for this one. Just stop making bad Star Trek.
Yeah.
But they're not going to, because they're. I think a lot of this, with all the mergers and stuff, Star Trek's just gonna kind of get shuffled around, and that's why they rushed all this Discovery stuff out.
Mm. Yeah. Before we go on, Jess Reed, thank you for the $2 super chat. Hi, Robin Tom. I'm late again. No. We're just early. You're not late. We're early. So anyway, yes. Dr. Beatball, yes. About most extreme elimination challenge. MXC, that was Guy Ledouche is an icon.
There is one other possibility that could happen, and that is that Viacom sells Paramount. And then they merge Viacom with CBS, and then they're all just television networks. No movies.
And that's CBS gets Paramount, which they can.
Well, no, they'd sell that flat out. Maybe CBS just, if they think they're strong enough, would just have in the networks, because then they could put all that kind of crap on CBS All Access probably. Because right now all their stuff's spread out over Comedy Central and MTV and Nickelodeon, like you said, to where that's the same problem Paramount's having with the movies. Is any movies that they have had that have even made a little bit of money, they're sharing it with either DreamWorks and Hasbro when it comes to the Transformers, or with Nickelodeon when it comes to the Ninja Turtles and so on. So even Mission Impossible, who owns that? I know they got a deal right now with Bad Robot,
Paramount,
but does CBS own the original rights to the television show? Is that another one like Star Trek where the rights are split up?
I don't know. That's a good question.
See, and that's what I'm wondering, because I remember that was the whole thing, is when they did split it up, That's how come CBS got the Star Trek television rights, is they took all the television stuff, which is why I believe it's the same thing with the Odd Couple movie and the television show. See, because the television show is on CBS All Access, is it not? The movie's owned by Paramount.
I'm not even sure if Mission Impossible is owned by.
I'm talking about the Odd Couple now.
Oh, the Odd Couple. Yeah. But
that's what I'm saying. I think that's where I'm saying. I think all the television shows themselves went over to CBS. Is what I'm thinking. If they weren't a Nickelodeon or MTV or Comedy Central show, because then there was that whole deal with Warner Brothers too. Still, with the South Park movie, where the rights were wrapped up with Warner Brothers still. So.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Paramount Pictures owns the rights to the TV series.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a surprise. But other than that, I know that like we said, I know the Odd Couple's on CBS All Access, so they own that and so on. But the movies at Paramount and so on. But regardless, they could sell Paramount, hang on to the Star Trek rights themselves, or they could sell them outright. I don't know. It just depends on how bad CBS wants a movie studio.
All right, let me see. Yeah, I don't want to say it would be a natural fit, but giving Paramount, I mean, it would make things easier. It really would for a certain for Star Trek and for certain things, you know. I'm trying to see. It's just Mission Impossible is distributed by CBS Television, but it's owned by Paramount.
See, the same kind of deal probably as.
And it was actually produced by Desilu Productions
originally. Yes, maybe that's it. Maybe CBS. Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Random.
Well, look how different the Mission Impossible movies are, though, to the TV series, though, from what I understand. I mean, I haven't seen the movies, but I'm pretty well aware that they're, like, so different than the TV show. So.
Oh, yeah. They share similar names in the idea, but other than that.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they have kind of similar, like, non-compete and having to be a certain % different and all that stuff to not compete with the TV series.
Because that would be uniquely one of those franchises that was being made by Paramount when the split happened, just like Star Trek. Go ahead.
See, I'm on the Wikipedia page, and I'm getting a lot of conflicting information. It says CBS has been distributing the DVDs, and CBS DVD distributed by Paramount has released all 7 seasons of Mission Impossible.
Well, that was the deal. Is CBS releases their stuff through Paramount, remember? But they still own the rights. Yeah. But I bet you if you go on CBS All Access, they got Mission Impossible on there, the show, the original show.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's not and say we did. Tim Augustine, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Musical theater, sing Invader Zim Doom song. MEAD musical, you know the deal. Also, give me more Trek log therapy. Well, working on the Trek log. I don't know the Invader Zim Doom song that well. Do either of you?
It just goes doom, doom, doom. I don't know how to sing it, but
okay.
It's been 20 years.
Invader Zim Doom, Invader Zim Doom, Invader Zim Doom.
No, it's basically just Gurr singing doom over and over and over again.
Doom, doom,
doom, doom, doom,
it's very
doom,
cute.
doom, doom,
yeah, that's pretty close.
Doom, 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 doom.
Oh yes, and Mission Impossible is on CBS All Access. Yeah, try All Access for free. No, I don't want it in my browser history. Go away.
I'd rather not. Rob, Jess Reed says, Rob, do not trust Wikipedia. I don't trust them.
We try not to, or at least we check it out.
But it's a good. It's if you just need quick information, it's
at least a good way to get to the links that have the information you're looking for.
Yeah, it's a good starting point.
Okay, now somebody says they do, and somebody says they don't have it on there. So
I don't know. Well, they had it on the main browser when I just looked, and it gave me an ad for try All Access for free. Like it's on there or something. I don't know. I don't want it to like infect my computer. Like if you click too many things in the CBS All Access thing. It's like they'll sign you up without you knowing, and it'll infect your computer, install all these cookies. Next thing you know, Mikey Spock's face will pop up as your screensaver.
You signed up for 10 years of CBS All Access. No!
Doom, 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 doom. Lovely doom. Wonderful
They've already
doom.
charged you $2,000. No.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
What next up.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't really another story. Supposedly the new name of Die Hard 6 is McClane. I know this is one that we haven't really been looking forward to very much because it's supposed to be mostly flashbacks of a young McClane on his first case. Yippity-doo.
Oh, I remember that time when I was tracking down those fellers who were trying to break into the vault at the Nakatomi Plaza.
Which this is what I got to say about this. Doesn't that kind of detract from his character? Because when he's in the first Die Hard, isn't supposed to be just like a normal, everyday, flat-footed schlub cop?
He's just a cop. Yeah,
exactly.
This
is the most exciting thing that he's ever had to deal with.
Yeah.
So if you put him through some case when he's young that's all exciting and worthy of a movie, that just kind of detracts from his character to me. I don't know. Sorry, Rob, you were saying.
No, fine. That's fine. But he's just a cop, and he's just like a regular. I don't want to say he's a beat cop, but he's just police work. Isn't that really? From what people have told me, isn't that really that interesting? I mean, they cram about a month's worth of action into a 2-hour movie.
Well, he's a detective. That's right, because that's what
he
says in the first Die Hard is, I can't just up and leave. I got 6 months worth of backlog or whatever it is in cases and stuff like that. So yeah, he's mostly a paper pusher and a...
Well, it's not really a paper pusher. He's interviewing witnesses.
Right, yeah, he's not doing the exciting out there kind of shit like, I just don't understand.
Yeah. Like I said, Die Hard, he's a kind of a normal guy, but he's thrown into an abnormal circumstance.
Right, that's the concept I got from it, and that's why I don't really like the second film so much. Which, it's good, but it's like, okay, this is just too over the top. Third film's much better, more realistic, because then we get to John McClane who's back, and he's like, a schlub again, and he don't even want to be there. He's half drunk coming off of fucking...
But William Sadler's in the second film.
Yeah, it has its moments, don't get me wrong. Just the part that I don't like is like, how can the same thing happen to the same guy 2 years in a row? On Christmas. It's like, yeah, that's a little too much. But no, the third film makes more sense.
The theory making it a Christmas movie. Then that's why, because it keeps happening on Christmas.
That's why I love the third movie, though. Even though there's a tie to the first movie, plus it actually has a little bit different story. It's not the same type of thing necessarily, but it is, but it isn't. I don't know. The third and first movie for me are masterpieces. The second one, Live Free or Die Hard, And then I don't even like the last one. I don't even consider that a movie. I
remember when Die Hard was released in theaters. I saw it at the theaters.
Yeah.
Saw it in the theaters. I remember my idiot brother, not Dave, my other idiot brother. He's like, we're gonna see this movie. I was like, let's go see Die Hard. We're gonna see that.
It will blow you through the back of the theater. That's what
yeah, I remember that. But he was putting up a stink because he didn't want to see it, and then he saw it. Hey man, that was badass. I'm like, yeah, I told you, motherfucker. Willie Woodward, thank you for the $1 super chat. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you very much. I get that magazine.
Yeah, Willie Woodward's. That's the best line from that movie. I was working on a good hangover, smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. I love that.
J 2.0 asks, "Is Die Hard considered a Christmas movie?" Yes, it's a Christmas movie.
Yes,
yeah.
Ask Doomcock. He did a whole video on it.
Bruce Willis don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. So what else? What do we got? What else did we?
Was there something else random that you had, or?
I don't know what else happened today. I was just.
I thought there was one other story, but I might be forgetting what it is. It must not have been that important.
It's a deadline. Hold on. Stretch.
I should look at my own video backlog. I make so many all the time.
Well, we talked about Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel and...
We talked about Star Trek yesterday.
Rebecca Ferguson is in talks to be in Dune. Yay.
Yes, somebody did ask about what's up with Dune. There's your answer. Other than that, last I heard, it's still in pre-production. I think I also heard a rumor that they might be splitting it into 2 films. And of course, Draven G would ask what I thought about the new Halloween trailer, because I didn't get a chance to watch it before we went live. And I said that to these guys just before.
Kathleen
I
Kennedy.
watched it, but...
How is
Kathleen Kennedy is getting an award.
The new Halloween trailer, it's all right. It looks like Halloween. It looks like more of the same. It looks very in the spirit of the first movie to me.
Anyway, so what award is she getting now, Rob? Most obnoxious producer?
She's getting the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Governor's Award. It's the recipients this year are Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall, who's Mr. Kathleen Kennedy, Marvin Levy, and Lalo Schifrin. And Cecily Tyson will receive an
I don't know who that Levy is, but I know who Eugene Levy is. He deserves an Oscar.
He does. Especially for that scene in American Pie. Big boy. Okay, can I just say this one thing about that? I read about how millennials are let's talk about a little bit about that. Millennials are watching American Pie and they're getting offended. First of all, fuck you if you're getting
I want to
offended.
watch these motherfuckers watch Blazing Saddles and Porky's.
Yeah.
And I want it videotaped too. Because I want to see them lose their mind and get triggered in real fucking time. Go ahead, sorry, Rob.
I want to see them watch Animal House, and the scene where is it Tom Hulse and in the football field, he's about to have sex and she says she's 13. I want to see that. And yeah, okay. First of all, before anybody says shit, okay. First of all, different time, okay. But that that's part of the thing. It's inappropriate. That's the whole movie. It's inappropriate behavior.
Well, or look at Revenge of the Nerds too. Like they would just call date rape on that one. You know, he lures her into a place just to go down on the woman, disguised as her boyfriend. I mean, seriously, like there's no millennial sort of SJW type current like college kid offended by everything that would ever not be offended by Revenge of the Nerds 1. I mean, they have the camera in the girl's shower to watch them naked and. They're watching it in front of like a 15-year-old kid.
We've got Bush.
And it's right there in front of their 15-year-old kid, in front of Wormser.
Yeah. Like, God. Hair pie?
Are you still watching the Pies?
Hair pie.
Of course.
My favorite line in that movie is...
That whole movie's great.
A frush. What the fuck is a frush? Oh, see, you got too many cards here. Let me take those. And I'll give you 3 brand new ones. Oh, thank you. I love that part.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That movie did more for like my taste in and liking nerds than anything because that's exactly.
Burn the fucker's house down. That's also another one of my favorite Broker lines.
We just need to do watch parties of like Revenge of the Nerds.
House down. Yeah.
I like. Remember that scene though. I mean, the nerd was on the nerd guy Lewis was on top of her, and she says, "You're a nerd. Are all nerds as good as you?" She's like,
because all jocks think about is sports,
and all
us nerds think about is
sex.
And that line stuck with me my whole life. I watched that way too young, but that line stuck with me my whole life, and I've never really dated jocks. So there you go.
I was more of a music nerd, really.
Yeah. Me too.
The second one even has some good ones too.
Oh yeah, Revenge of the Nerds 2 is like kind of underrated.
A little bit. It's PG-13, so it's not as bad, but it has its moments.
And it had Devo doing the score too, so that was fine.
But you also had like I said, but it did have a diverse cast.
It very much did.
Yes.
Not only you had a black guy who was gay,
Oh yes.
You had the Asian. You had the girl nerds too as well.
The plus size girls, the moos.
The Omega Moos, which is an actual fraternity, and I never knew it. And I actually dated an Omega Moo once.
Are they plus sized, or are they?
I'm not going to comment.
Or was that just? Or was that just a joke?
I don't know how much of a joke it was, really, but
okay.
I'm sure they come in all sizes, to be honest.
Okay. Well,
but she was a nerdier girl, so yeah, that's all I can say about that.
Now you got me curious. I'm looking
she had a fucking Omega Moo cow. I'm like, where'd you get this? I thought they were a fake fraternity. I didn't know they were real. It's like lambda.
You put liquid heat in their jocks? That's outrageous. This is, and yeah, the black fraternity. The only fraternity that would accept them was the black guys too.
We sent pictures to all these, and they all rejected us. We got in. Who was it? Or we sent all of them except for one. Oh yeah, lambda. We got in. Who was it? Lambda.
But to be fair, it kind of had a much better sort of diversity message and almost a civil rights message by saying don't judge people based on how they look. And and that's just kind of ridiculous that people would kind of be offended by that sort of storytelling nowadays, because they can't look past the offensive, quote unquote offensive jokes to the moral of the story. Same thing with stuff like, any of these other movies too. I mean, there's still the moral to the story.
You know what we would hear today though? Why are the white guys the heroes? That's what we would hear. But they're still fucking nerds. Pardon my language.
Well, they're not all white guys though.
No.
And most of them are, but yeah.
Well, okay. Listen, I went to an inner city high school. Believe me, there's no shortage of geeks and rejects. But most white guys tend to be most nerds tend to be white. I'm sorry. At least they were when I went to high school in the 80s.
And then, of course, they answered the question in Revenge of the Nerds 3 why the movie will never be able to be remade, and that is because by the time the 90s came around, nerds were cool.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of the third movie, is that nerds had taken over, and Gilbert was kind of shunning his nerd ways, and he had to get back to the nerd.
Yeah.
Third one's not too bad. The fourth one's just horrendously bad.
Oh, that's just the nerds in love. They got booger laid.
Oh my god, it's just bad. It's just bad. They had the smell-o-vision in 3D when it was on TV.
Oh god.
They had like a scratch and sniff thing.
Yes.
Oh, that's a box set. I don't know if it has the scratch and sniff card in it.
No, it doesn't, I don't think. Or did it come with a scratch and sniff card? Maybe it did.
Know.
I can't remember now. But I know it didn't come with 3D glasses, but it wasn't even real 3D. It was that fake ass shit.
Yeah.
But one of the things though, I mean, and Tyler Bioshock says now nerds are the richest fuckers alive. So
that's what the part 3 was about. Was that because Gilbert's like got a buttload of money and he's the head of the Adams College now and all that kind of shit. So
yeah, 070. 818. Why do SJWs complain about there being so many whites? The U.S. 75% white. It's I don't want to say it's a talking point, but they complain. It's almost like this self-hatred that they have. Really, why am I so privileged? Oh, why am I from such a good home? I wish there was more wrong with me. It really is.
Well, now I remember why they were able to use real fraternities and they changed the name of the college. It was what it was, because Adams College isn't a real college.
No.
And I think that it was partially because the college they were going to use backed out, so they had to use some other school or something like that, I think, if I remember right from the making. If somebody else remembers out there, I think that might be the reason why, but yeah.
I think they ended up... Well, yeah, they were going to shoot at one college from what I remember. I did watch a documentary
about this.
And
when they got a hold of the script, they backed out or whatever once they read the script. But yeah, go ahead, sorry, random.
Oh, I think didn't they film in like Arizona State or something?
I think
for some
so.
Of it? And it was like, welcome Revenge of the Nerds, and it was like a huge party the whole time they were there, and it was There's a really good documentary on YouTube that they do have.
I
like,
think that's on the
behind scenes.
DVD, yeah,
That too.
and the Blu-ray. But yeah,
It's
But
been a while since I've seen it.
But that's a genre of movie we don't see anymore. Is the college party movie?
oh hell no. Well, because not only that, it's the college party atmosphere has turned into the date rape atmosphere. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too is, like I said, there's just kids in college are so uptight now too. Everything. Oh, this is a microaggression. You're on report. You know.
Yep.
Well, it's got to be twice as bad as PCU now. I mean, you and I, we all kind of went to school around the same time in that PCU era, probably.
Oh
Ish.
yeah.
Right when it was starting. Right when the politically correct movement was starting.
So I can imagine it's got to be 10 times worse now. So.
Well, from what I see in videos on YouTube and stuff, like these college kids just they kind of harass each other, and they anytime like anybody wears, you could have a girl who buys like a Native American jewelry, like a ring or something from somebody from like directly off of the reservation from the artist, and you'll have somebody yell at her for culturally appropriating some Native American culture. It's like she bought the ring directly from the person who made it. It's not an offensive thing. It's I really like your artwork and I want to support what you do. Sort of. People are just crazy now. Dang.
Used to be in the 60s when used to be, like I said, in the 60s when you would just chill out. Like I said, you could do. It was a lot looser atmosphere. Of course I wasn't alive back then, but people have told me about it. You would find some Indian on, in the desert when you were doing mushrooms or whatever, and he would put a necklace around you. Here, this will protect you on your journey. You will have a vision, and then nobody said cultural appropriation.
Yeah, it's one thing to just adopt something into your lifestyle and, bring that culture into your lifestyle. When I think of cultural appropriation, I think of, have you guys seen the movie Better Off Dead with John Cusack?
Oh, I love Better Off Dead.
When the mom comes in and she's like, we have French toast and French fries, and she's going through the whole thing. That's what I think of when I think of, like, people have no clue what they're doing, but they're just doing it because they're trying to be culturally diverse. Yeah.
Well, I kind of think cultural appropriation is more like a lot of these people who would never watch anything geeky or nerdy, but do because it's trendy, and then they yell at us. Or the fly white guys
from the 90s who used to wear their pants down to their ankles. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And to drink Peru. So, yeah.
I love that movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I still use the line. I still use it when I find out, like, if there's someone I like and I find out she has a boyfriend or whatever, I still go her and him. That makes sense. So I still use that. Her. That makes sense.
If you guys have not seen Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer, do yourselves a favor.
I think Better Off Dead's just on YouTube. Yeah. I think it's just on YouTube. You can.
And the reason they're connected is because they're made by the same director and they have most of the same cast.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and Booger from Revenge of the Nerds is in Better Off Dead.
And he's in also One Crazy Summer as well.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever seen One Crazy Summer?
I haven't. I need to see that. It's on my list.
Which is weird, as it should have just been a sequel to Better Off Dead. It should have
probably,
been.
yeah.
But it's they play different characters, but it's almost like an extension of. Because it's got the same little interludes with the cartoons and everything, so it's fairly similar, and the same kind of humor, all that. Yeah. Bobcat's in that one though too.
Oh yeah. There was part of Oh God, there was. I try to remember. See, now you interrupted my train of thought, but there was a scene from. Was it from Better Off Dead? Oh yeah. Booger. I'm talking about Booger being in both. Lane, let me tell you something. I've gone to this high school for 7 years. I'm no dummy. Oh my God. Okay, obviously you are.
This is pure snow. I can't feel my brain.
Do you realize the street value of this mountain?
I've frozen my brain.
I need some help here. All right. Go that way really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
They did that whole South Park episode that was a parody of this.
Another shot.
One.
Another genre we don't have anymore. We don't have the ski movie anymore.
Yeah.
No.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's where they go to the it's in Denver or something like that, isn't it? Or whatever is the ski place they go to. I can't remember where it's at.
Probably like Aspen
or Aspen, yeah, that's what I meant.
Vail or
Sorry.
Breckenridge or something.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the whole episode's almost a complete same story.
Hot dog in the movie. That was it. The Chinese downhill. What the fuck is a Chinese downhill? The Chinese, like 200 guys, like $100 each. the Chinese downhill.
And you'd probably like, I know you gotta love those one guys who constantly are racing them, and they only know their English from watching television. So the one talks like Howard Cosell or whatever.
Lane Meyer, once a legend on these very streets, but now fate has dealt him a cruel hand. One has to wonder if he will ever regain his former glory. And it's a close race. Meyer takes the lead. This can go in Meyer's favor. What's worse? Speaking no English or speaking white Howard Cosell?
Oh shit! It was kind of the prototypical John Cusack movie too. From that moment forward, he kind of kept playing Lane in every movie. Almost, it was just a variation of. It seemed like.
That movie made me want a like 68 Camaro. Was that 68 or was that 69?
I can't remember which, but yeah.
David Ogden Stiers was also in it.
Oh wow!
I love his kid brothers always building shit and getting this stuff from like the cereal boxes, like how to pick up cheap women and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure my brother's gonna build a rocket, and that thing probably works. I can't even build a car.
Oh, that was a 67 Camaro, and somebody actually found it and restored it. Yeah, so yeah, Camaro. Yeah, the Camaro was the answer to the Mustang from GM. Didn't sell nearly as well, but it was. I mean, you find one now. That'll cost you a restored one in good shape. It'll cost you $50,000 easy.
Dan Schneider's extra creepy though now in Better Off Dead. I will say that because I did watch it like a couple months ago or something like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot he's in this.
Yeah. Mary Ashmead says, I used to get made fun of at school for liking sci-fi. Where did you go to school? I mean, the good part. Okay, for as much as I bitch about the town I live in, that was the thing. You could always find some fellow freaks like yourself.
Well, that's the thing. I just hung around like the computer geeks and the artists and stuff. But I was a music nerd.
I lived in such a rural area that only like me and a few other people were into that shit. Like other kids weren't into Star Wars anymore until they re-released them and stuff. Then it was cool to be into Star Wars. Before that, though, same thing with Nirvana. We were the same ones that were listening to like Nirvana until Kurt Cobain killed himself, and then that's when all the other cool kids started listening to him. Yeah.
Oh yeah. God, those T-shirt sales just skyrocketed. I remember right after. Like, okay, where were you guys last year when I was like...
Well, because I used to DJ it then, and because we had like a kids' teen center, whatever you want to call it, and I'd sit there and I'd try and play, Teen Spirit and a few other things. All they'd say, oh, turn that off, let's play this, let's do something else. We can't dance to that shit. As soon as Kurt Cobain kills himself, they're like, oh, could you have this? Do you have this? I'm like, yeah, I've tried playing this shit for years now, and you guys didn't want to hear it. It's like bullshit. And then all of a sudden, every girl in the school has a flannel shirt too. All of a sudden,
yeah. And by the time he died, I was already over it anyway. So,
there was the guys who were into music in this town. They were such pricks. They would always go toward a subgenre that was never going to be popular. Like everybody was into like alternative rock, whatever alternative rock meant. Everybody would like go ska and hardcore punk. Like nobody likes ska, nobody likes hardcore punk, nobody likes rockabilly. Shut up. So anyway, when it was sort of known that I was a fan of Nirvana. Kurt Cobain dies, kills himself. Somebody comes up to me, hey man, your boy's dead. What are you gonna do now? I'm like, first of all, there's nothing I can do. Second, he's not my boy. Third, get out of my face before I deck you. Yeah. And so and it was just terrible. It was just terrible. I mean, it was just terrible the way people were just being assholes about it. It was just, I'm like, hey, don't speak ill of the dead, hey, or the recently departed. Anyway, Tyler Bioshock says he has a question. Here's a question for the group. Instead of Kathleen Kennedy, who would you prefer to get an honorary Oscar or just an actual Oscar? P.S. I saw the new mini doc. It turned out really well. Thanks, guys. Jim Henson, if he doesn't already have one.
I'm sure he has to have one.
There's tons of was that word posthumous? Posthumous Oscars I could think of. And yeah, it turned out pretty good. Tyler actually wrote the original draft of the Predator mini documentary. So check that out if you guys haven't got a chance to after we're done here.
Yeah. I wanted to have Tom insert a clip from Archer though, but it probably would have got flagged by Fox. So, yeah. Just find the clip from Archer, press pause, and then play the clip from Archer, and then resume the video.
Lucky enough to get away with Siskel and Ebert, so.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out. Where's
Bela Lugosi should have an Oscar.
Yeah.
Mary Ashmead she says she's from Salt Lake City, Utah. Well, at least you have a basketball team. So I mean that's. I'm from the New York area. I have the Knicks. I don't have a basketball team. They're not really a team anymore. They're so terrible. Carrie Dalton, do you know that the flannel thing was completely made up? A New York Times reporter went to PAC Northwest report on grunge. He told him a bunch of BS. Yeah, I believe it. Well, that's
the thing. Heroin was always like the big thing up in the Seattle scene. Like, I think the clothing kind of mattered less. That was kind of what people were wearing to kind of go along with the grunge scene.
I just kind of wore whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I was not like super into the big trendy stuff, go figure. I guess I was an original hipster. So by the time like the Nirvana stuff got really, really big, I was already on to the next thing. I was listening to more Gwar than anything back then.
Tyler Bioshock, speaking of music, did you hear that the Aerosmith's van that I Don't Want to Miss a Thing was written about was recently found just in the woods, rotting away, much like the actual group.
What's funny is that's their only number one hit, and that's one of the few songs they didn't write.
Diane Warren.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, Diane Warren was a hit writing machine.
She wrote the song for Enterprise too, didn't she? I think
Been
so.
a long road. Yes. Getting from there to here. She co-wrote a song with Pat Denizio.
Didn't she do that one for Con Air as well?
Yes. John Tennant, thank you for the $100 Hong Kong $100 super chat. Rob, no, Porzingod. Believe in Kristaps. Let me tell you, Kristaps. Okay, this is the sports section, the sports portion of the podcast. Kristaps Porzingis has got to stop playing like a European. He wants to, take threes. He wants to fly down the lane. He wants to he is not built for that. He's too big. He's going to break down. He has to develop a low post game. You're 6'3", or what? Not 6'3". You're 7'3". Okay. You're 7'3". You gotta develop a post game. You gotta post guys up. You gotta hit the gym. You gotta eat. You gotta put on. He's gotta put on at least another 20 or 30 pounds. I mean, I know a lot of people went gaga, especially a lot of people and a lot of Latvian fans, a lot of people in Spain. They said, "Oh, Kristaps Porzingis, in the NBA." And I said, "Listen, playing in Europe where you play 30 games a season and playing in the NBA where you play 82 games and the playoffs, but you're playing maybe 90 to 100 games a year. That's completely different." So if he doesn't condition himself, he's going to break down. "Oh, well, you're just a hater." I'm like, I'm not a hater. I've seen this too many times before. I don't want to say he's Darko Milicic, but I if Kristaps Porzingis comes back and gets hurt again, then you know what? Then that's it. He's you got to call him a bust. And believe me, I'm a Knicks fan. I want Kristaps Porzingis to do well. I really do. But if he's sitting the bench for 8 months at a time, he's not contributing to. He's not helping the team. Okay, that's the end of my sports rant.
Yes, he is. He's warming the bench.
He's keeping the bench from flying away.
That's right. Apparently there's some police academy news. Did you hear that, Random?
No. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I just saw it.
I say, look it up. Look it up.
I haven't heard it. Tell me.
I don't know what the news is, but I just saw it in the chat there.
Oh, shit. Somebody link it.
Yeah, if you guys want to send it.
Do you think I watch all those police academy movies for fun?
Yeah, I love that one.
I do. I love them. They're great.
What were you talking about again? Oh, yeah. Stay out of my booze.
Cadet Mahoney. Please report to the Commandant's office. Cadet Mahoney.
Okay, there is new news from Tampa Bay Times. Here, let me find this. New Police Academy movie coming, Steve Guttenberg says.
Ooh.
Oh God, it better have him.
Yeah.
Let me link it to you guys. How do I do that? Oh, in the texty booth. The texty thing. Paste. Do the paste. Computers, don't you love technology? It takes forever.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
I don't know if you guys want to read that or you want me to read it.
You can read it if you like.
All right. So this is from Tampa Bay Times. I don't know how legit this is, but the article's written by Steve Spears. And it says, so there's really another Police Academy movie on the way. Well, if you believe star Steve Guttenberg, who told a fan on social media that it's already in the works. Oh no, I don't want another Police Academy movie.
He's been saying that though for a while.
No details yet, but it's in a gift bag being readied. Oh Lord, it's in a gift bag being readied. Guttenberg wrote on Twitter, as reported on MovieWeb.com. That's all the news is. So it's
been in the works for quite a long time, though, if you want to go by what he said. I know they were talking to Key and Peele, I think, for a while to do it, and that's what I said. That's what you got to do, is just basically get a whole bunch of comedians together. Don't make it a remake. Make it a sequel. Have a bunch of the original characters that you can come back and play various, the same roles, but they're higher up in the ranks now and stuff like that. That's the way to do it anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're saying Commandant Mahoney. That wouldn't be terrible. I mean, yeah, you have Mahoney back as the Commandant, and then all of some of the side people back. You could definitely do that. And then they're still instructors. They'd probably still be instructors. Quite a lot of
them. Yeah. Who makes Steve Guttenberg a star? We do. We do. But anyway, so what else? So we got any more questions out there? Yes. While I'm waiting on my new rollerblade wheels to arrive.
Have you named the cricket yet, Rob?
Jiminy?
Yeah, right.
Well, what else are you going to name a cricket?
They're so loud. They're right outside the window. I got it's what's louder, the fan or the cricket?
Cricket.
I can't hear the fan, but I can hear the cricket.
That's not the cricket. It's my audience for my stand-up.
You brought them home with you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. So they Patrick Ollinger. What is my favorite sports movie? Oh,
Major League.
Yeah, I do love Major League. Major League, which is really just Slapshot if you think about it.
Kind of.
What about the Karate Kid?
I guess if you consider that a sports movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Dynamo 75 has a question for you, Rob.
The Natural.
Have you ever heard of Marvel's Eternals, and would you be interested in seeing what would you be interested in seeing in the movie?
Yes, I've heard of Marvel's Eternals. I predicted 3 years ago that there was going to be an Eternals movie. I know the materials. The Eternals. A friend of mine used to read them. I haven't read anything substantial, so I don't ask me to quote you a storyline. Okay. I know Star Fox from the Avengers was an Eternal. I know that. Like I said, so I'm gonna have to read up on the Eternals to maybe get a trade paperback, and I'll have to get back to you on that. All right. So, but I did say 3 years ago I thought there was gonna be an Eternals movie. And it looks like I was right. And nobody else, that bonehead Campia didn't say anything. That idiot Jeff Schneider didn't say anything. Nobody said there was going to be an Eternals movie except me.
And you guys quit talking about an all-female police academy in the goddamn chat there, or I'm going to get pissed.
Don't
give them
mess with
ideas.
Police Academy.
They already had pretty much almost a half-female cast, did they not?
Yeah.
Was
they
it
had some of the best female characters. Look at Hooks. She was amazing.
Yeah, you had Hooks, you had Callahan, you had the various other members throughout the movies. I'm trying to think of now, because Tackleberry married what's-her-face? What was her name?
Yeah. From Clue and
well, yeah,
Colin Camp.
Yes, but I can't remember her character name.
I can't remember her character name either, but
yeah. And then you had what's his face's wife, who was always hanging on the car. She became a cop later down the road too, Mrs.
Beverly Scott. I can't remember her character name either.
Wasn't Kim Cattrall in?
She was in the first one, and then you also had
Stone.
Sharon Stone in the fourth one, and also what's her face in the fourth one, who hooked up with Bobcat.
Yeah, I can't
who's
remember
also
her name.
in the fourth Nerds movie.
She hooked up with me.
Oh, they were cute together. She was awkward and dorky. I think it worked.
My brother's name is Chughead.
No, it was my mom. My mother's name was Jughead.
It's a good American name.
It's a good American name. Zed, we need you. I'm trying to watch Family Affair. You're a cop. I hate cops.
Tyler Bioshock, what was the best Police Academy film and the worst? Mission to Moscow was pretty bad.
Yeah, Mission to Moscow is the worst.
Yeah, I guess hands down. No doubt.
Funniest moment in Police Academy, one of the funnier moments in Police Academy was when the commandant was giving a speech and the hooker was underneath the podium.
Yeah.
That's the first one, yep.
This first slide shows the outer campus. Mahoney has done something very bad.
Is it funny because he was even mentioning that in 4 movies later, he's telling the anecdote.
Why, sir? What has he done? What has he done? Well, he's done a very bad thing. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I don't know. The first and fourth one are probably my favorites, but the second and third one have great moments in them too. Once you hit Assignment Miami Beach is when they start going downhill a little bit, basically.
Yeah. Hey, there's some asshole turning up the beach in a truck. Who's that? You.
Some PG-13 boobies in that scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Evernum says Police Academy 10th Wave Feminist Edition starring Kate McKinnon.
Oh, fucking! I would punch the movie theater for that. I don't mess with Police Academy. That is kind of like one of those sacred crap movies that I absolutely love. I love the entire franchise. If they pull a Ghostbusters 2016 on Police Academy, we're gonna tangle. We're gonna have some words. I will go and push that button, TM. No remaking Police Academy. No SJW Police Academy.
Dr. Meatball says, who do we have in the Super Bowl this year? Oh God, that's a good question.
Green Bay. Roger's got to earn that big check.
Probably, yeah. Green Bay. Yeah, it's. God, even though I'm a Giant fan, I don't think they're gonna make it to the Super Bowl. They're gonna make the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna make the Super Bowl.
Is that sports ball?
Yes,
that is sports ball.
Okay.
Yes.
Steven Anderson. Question: Nickelodeon has a classic streaming service called Nick Splat through Crunchyroll. Too many streams?
Yes.
That's kind of what we brought up before, and that's where I said I wouldn't be surprised if Viacom dumped Paramount altogether and merged with CBS, and they all kind of did their own thing on maybe CBS All Access or something similar. Because, yeah, you've got so many of these companies spread out, and I think that's one of the reasons why Viacom's hurting so bad, too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like I said, there's far too many streaming services. There really is,
Mm-hmm.
and we're only gonna get more. We're only gonna get more. So that's.
And that's a topic I'm sure you'll hear a lot more about as we get into the streaming wars. And if you want to hear a lot about how we predict that's going to at least go, or how it's going to progress, you can check out a video we did on the main channel a while back with Bill Hunt, pretty much the prototype Talking Blue episode where we talk all about format wars and leading into the streaming wars. It's actually pretty interesting, so you should check that out.
Yeah. Once again, I demand we copyright the term streaming war. It's totally coming. Even Rob's cricket pal agrees.
Yeah, we did kind of coin that. So.
Yeah. Dr. Meatball, New England losing back-to-back to Philly and Minnesota would be some high comedy. I've always had a soft spot for the Minnesota Vikings. I really always have. Hey, Mead, want to break the internet tomorrow? Rob, you've mentioned a few times with the Daily Show expose you're working on. When's that coming out?
Fuck your Vikings. Oops, sorry, that was a little late.
The Daily Show expose I was working on. I wouldn't say it's an unfinished script, but now that the show has sort of earned a reprieve, and that Comedy Central have signed Trevor Noah to a 5-year deal, ensuring that the Daily Show will suck for the next 5 years. There's no possibility of him being fired, so it sort of lessens the impact of it, which is why I've been sitting on the script. If it would help him get fired, I'd publish it. So I've been actually thinking about going back and recording the first script I ever wrote was when I wrote about How I Met Your Mother, about the finale, about how the finale cheapened the whole series.
Streaming Wars TM. Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
Did we get it? Did we copyright it?
Intellectual property, copyright, TM, registered.
Okay.
Well, it's not registered, but
Okay.
we will. We get a nickel every time somebody says it.
Because can I just riff about the Daily Show for a minute or two, because we were saying about, because you asked me about my expose about the Daily Show. The biggest problem with the Daily Show is yes, Dr. Sylvester Matshuka, yeah, Trevor Noah does suck. Apart from that, and he's the reason why it sucks. Jon Stewart said one time when he was on with Larry King that if he ever left, he would, as his successor, he would choose a guy who had an English accent, British accent, so that people would say, "Who's that? And why is he talking so funny?" And when they were looking for people to resume to step into the role of host, they didn't even bother. They didn't ask Jason Jones. They didn't ask Samantha Bee. They didn't even ask Louis Black. Louis Black had been there longer than anyone else. They didn't even ask Jordan. They didn't ask Jordan Klepper. And Trevor Noah made 3 appearances on the old show with Jon Stewart. He did okay once, and you can find him. He did okay once. The second one, he just bombed outright. And Stewart was looking at him awkwardly. I'm like, my God, I can't believe this is going so terribly. And the third one was just flat. Wasn't funny, wasn't horrible. It was just flat. And they gave him the show without so much as an audition. Why would you give someone like that a gig like this that's important, that's this important, without so much as an audition? It was just beyond me. And the other thing, yeah, Louis Black is brilliant. I'm going to see Louis Black in April.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah. But anyway, and the other thing, his defenders were all saying the same thing. Yeah, Dr. Meatball. So John Oliver should have been locked up as the host of the Daily Show. That's another thing. Somebody should have said when because Stewart was making. I wouldn't say he was making noise about leaving, but he had remarked to someone a year earlier, a guest. He said, hey, when I come back, he said to him, hey, when I come back here, wait, we're gonna have to talk about that sometimes. John said to him, I don't think I'll be here next year. So he had his sights on leaving for over a year. You think that someone would have said, hey, you know what? John's leaving. We need to bring in somebody now. John might be like, we need to bring in somebody now. Someone who could learn the show and be ready to take over when this guy leaves. But they didn't. And you think it would have locked up somebody like John Oliver. John Oliver had that 10-week stretch when Stewart went to Jordan to film Rosewater. He was absolutely fucking brilliant. We're all right. Okay. Okay.
I don't know why they didn't take a poll. Like, why not make a poll of, like, who would you want the replacement to be? Ask the fans.
Here's the thing. Trevor Noah was hired by somebody named Michelle Gainless. Michelle Gainless was looking for somebody who she thought was going to appeal, and again, here we go, to a younger millennial audience. They wanted somebody with a large internet following, thinking, oh, this person has a big internet following. It's going to translate to an audience. Take a look at the ratings of The Daily Show now. They're 0.24, 0.2, 0.28. They're not doing well. The show is
on the air?
The Daily, there you go. The Daily Show is still on the air, but they are not drawing anybody. They're advertising on the freaking Majority Report podcast. That's how low the bar is.
Well, not to bring in politics, they're probably skating more off the fact that Trump's president more than anything. I bet you if he wasn't, they would be in the tank, I bet. Because back when politics were boring, that was pretty much the only news show people watched was The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dr. Meatball, I disagree. Stewart didn't need half a year training wheels before Kilborn left. But the thing is, Stewart was almost fired in those 2 years because he was actually just waiting out the old writing staff. The old writing staff didn't want to go on board because Stewart wanted to make a show about politics and about issues. They didn't. The old writing staff didn't. The old producers didn't. They wanted to keep it sort of loose, entertaining kind of show.
Like the baby races and all. Like, I remember The Daily Show with Kilborn, and I really liked it. And I kind of started tuning out once it went more political because, God, politics are so hard to sit through sometimes.
Yeah. But... And the other thing, too, is people hated Kilborn. They hated him when he was with ESPN. That was the other thing. So Kilborn wasn't this beloved Carson-like figure. But at the same time, when they hired Trevor Noah and they got off to a slow start, all his defenders came in, oh, give him a chance. Same word, give him a chance. Give him a chance. Stewart didn't find his he didn't find his footing for 2 years. But the whole thing is that Stewart, like I said, Stewart was waiting out the old crew and he was bringing his people in. Trevor Noah was supposedly coming into a show that everyone and his uncle, all his supporters, he was tailor-made for. Oh, this guy's great. He's perfect. He even had a show like this in South Africa. I went on YouTube. I went on the internet. There is no trace of his show from South Africa. None. It has been scrubbed from existence. It has been wiped from the internet. The only thing that is up there from his show in South Africa is a computer graphic of the intro. That's it. So, which tells me that somebody wanted to bury this. And he said in an interview that I'm trying to build something. You have something. It's been built for you. You didn't need to build it. So again, this is another, again, like we keep saying with Star Wars, it's about Star Wars, Star Trek, STD, all that stuff. They are trying to go for an audience that isn't there. And millennials, like I said, they look at, like you said, Random, they look at their phones. Oh, it's time to look up. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt in my mind that Trevor Noah, if he was on a sitcom or if he did a lighter kind of Jimmy Fallon-esque show, maybe he'd have more success because that's what he wants to do. He wants to be on a lighter show. You can tell he doesn't like politics. He doesn't know anything about politics. He said to Juan Williams from Fox News, he said, well, so I see that you, in your book, you say there's more than 4 founding fathers, more than the guys that are up on Mount Rushmore. He said, yeah, the guys, and he said, he had to correct him on the air. Yeah, those guys aren't all the founding fathers there, Trevor. Those are just 4 presidents. Oh, well, I didn't know that. He actually said something that would have taken him 15 minutes of research. He didn't do it.
Well, 3 presidents and Benjamin Franklin. But yeah.
Yeah, well, no. This is Lincoln, Washington, Teddy Roosevelt, and Jefferson. You know.
Oh, but, yeah. Never mind. Yeah. What am I thinking of?
I'm Mount Rushmore. Well,
oh,
but anyway.
yeah, Mount Rushmore. What was it? The founding fathers, I was thinking of, like Benjamin Franklin and shit. Yeah.
Like I said, but like I said, this is, and like I said, coming back to Viacom, this is an example of the bad decisions that Viacom has made over the years. And this ties back into Viacom.
More attention to you than what's going on in the chat too.
Sorry, no, I'm on a roll here.
That's fine. I'm letting you roll. I think Random's asleep.
No, I'm listening. I don't want to interrupt.
Like I said, anything else here? Yes, Roosevelt is hardly a founding father. Yeah. Well, like I said, the Daily Show used to do great interviews. Now you're drinking whiskey with Rand Paul. Now you're shooting pool with Lindsey Graham.
Isn't that what Jimmy Fallon does? Like the shot or the beer pong sort of thing?
And you're doing bad impressions. You're doing impressions. Oh, Trevor Noah he does great impressions. No, he doesn't. He does impressions like someone would describe to you over a phone. His impression of Donald Trump sounds like a strained Vito Corleone. It really does. It really does. Like, shut the fuck up, you moron. I'm like,
I don't think he's very charismatic, though.
No.
That's kind of my thing. Is like he doesn't feel very comfortable in front of a camera. It's like sometimes you'll watch a YouTuber and you won't subscribe because they just don't have a personality, and they're very stiff and they're very rigid and they're.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He has a personality of a YouTuber, which actually, like I said, which they thought was going to work for them, and it hasn't. I mean, there's his whole shtick. His whole shtick is running a clip, giggling, and go, oh, why are Americans so stupid? It's not like that in South Africa. I'm like, I gotta check in something. Stretch, Tom, stretch. I'll finish this point in a second.
All I know about South Africa is everything I've learned from like The Gods Must Be Crazy and DeAnt words.
Oh,
so that's like really bad.
Not much. Not much. You've seen like Lethal Weapon 2 at least, haven't you?
Not that I can remember. If I have, it's been so long. There's so many of those R-rated 80s movies. Like, I just saw Stripes on Sunday. I know.
Did you like it?
I know. Yeah, I loved it.
Good.
But I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of those R-rated kind of comedies when I was a kid. Horror movies were fine because, it's just murder.
Did you see the original version or did you see the newer extended
Sorry about
cut?
that. I was at the
Whichever one's on Netflix.
Sorry about that. I had to get the door.
That's all right.
So, anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, the whole running of a clip and saying giggling and everything, and then saying satire is you don't understand satire. No, satire is supposed to have a point. You are supposed to make a point when you are doing satire. And the other thing he does too is a lot of times he punches down. That's another problem. He punches down at easier targets. He played the whole identity politics with Barack Obama. Listen, all right. I like Barack Obama. I realize people don't. Okay, he wasn't a perfect president, but you know what? He was the best we got at the time. But there was a whole thing about Obama taking money, about taking money to give a speech, and he was saying, Trevor Noah had said something about, just because you're the first black president doesn't mean you can't take that money. No, you go make that money, Obama. No. You don't get to play that game, buddy. You don't get to play that game. You don't get to play identity politics and then turn around and bitch about it, about other people doing it. Mm-hmm. You don't get to do that because you know why? It makes you a grade 8 hypocrite.
I think a lot of these those types just kind of play both sides anyway.
Oh yeah.
And it's really frustrating. It's like, get off the fence. Quit fencing. People.
Yeah, I really don't have an ending here, but I just say
Stripes.
Yeah, Stripes. I love fucking Stripes.
I do until the only thing I don't like about Stripes is I wish it would end before the trailer bullshit. I hate that. It's two movies. Downhill. It is. It's so two movies in one.
It could have easily
it's just
ended
like Full Metal Jacket. It should have ended right there right after the suicide scene in Full Metal Jacket. Same thing with Stripes. It should have ended when they graduated. That's the perfect ending. But otherwise it's a great movie. Yeah.
I had an awakening when I saw that when I saw the shower saying, "Oh, I wish I was a loofah." I didn't. Oh, that's it. Drop the soap. Oh yeah. It's just like John Larroquette looking through you couldn't do that now. John Larroquette looking at the women's shower through the binoculars.
Well, that was okay because he was supposed to be the creepy bad guy anyway. But
yeah. Stillman. Oh boy. PJ Souls from Rock and Roll High School. It's in Stripes
Halloween.
And Halloween.
And Sean Young.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy ass.
Okay,
Did they ever find her? They were looking for her like 2 weeks ago.
PJ Soul?
No.
Sean Young?
Yeah,
Sean?
in questioning of a theft of where she works.
Oh man.
Well, I saw her not too long ago in like a movie, like a Star Trek movie that was written and directed by Tim Russ, who played Tuvok. It was kind of like a Star Trek fan film sort of movie.
Shouldn't laugh. The poor lady, she's had so many mental problems and stuff.
She was in Batman. She was in Batman for a week. They filmed for a week. She fell off a horse, broke her leg. Yeah.
But a better story than that is how she tried to get the part of Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah.
Yeah,
she went on to Joan Rivers'
broke
show,
in. Well, no, she broke into Tim Burton's office at Warner Brothers, jumped up on his desk in full Catwoman garb, and started scratching and clawing and hissing at him and saying, "I'm Catwoman."
Security.
Basically.
I will admit, I will. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. How badly do you want that part? Couldn't you just blow the guy? I mean, like they did in the old days.
Well, see, now you're not allowed to do that because that's.
I think Tim Burton was afraid of women until Helena Bonham Carter. I really do. I mean, I know he had girlfriends before.
we were talking about Stripes. I do admit I do occasionally do the Bill Murray thing. Remember what PJ Souls up on the stove. Come on, who's your pal? Who's your buddy? I am, aren't I? yes, I am. I know, not charming, but come on, who's your pal? Who's your buddy? I am. Breitbart.
Okay, there's an article. I don't know if we want to even discuss it, but it just somebody sent this to me.
It's from Breitbart. Oscar Isaac, Star Wars character sexually should be. Oh please. Oh, for God's sake. I don't even want to address that.
So gender fluid. That's the.
That's
more fluid.
Yeah, another word for self-lubrication, right? Because anytime I hear that now, I'm only gonna think of that stupid joke. It's such a stupid phrase. Oh, maybe I'm slant. Go ahead.
I detect masturbatory overtones.
Yeah, somebody just sent me that article. I'm like, oh god, I don't want to know gender fluid stuff, I don't want to think about Star Wars characters having sex.
What's the joke?
I don't care. Yeah,
Star Wars is like the most asexual franchise ever.
Yeah, we brought that up. Yeah, where we know that people have had sex at least twice.
Anakin was a virgin birth too.
Exactly. Now, what was the joke though? Random, you said.
Just my joke of like, isn't gender fluid something that it's another word for self lubrication, I guess.
Oh, I thought you meant there was a whole nother joke. Okay, gotcha.
No, that's just my stupid. Where my brain goes when I hear stupid phrases like that.
Dr. Meatball, can we get me to riff on Night Court? I saw Harry Anderson once, actually, in 1990. Do his stand up. He tore my $5 in half. Sean Young is Lois Einhorn.
Oh shit.
The most sexual thing was Luke kissing his sister. Yeah.
Night Court was a pretty cool show.
Because in space, it's all relative.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we got.
He's your daddy. I mean, I am your father.
Down 4 punch. Do you have to get a gender fluid change every 300 days, or 3,000 miles?
Oh Jesus!
I guess L337 was talking about that a little bit. Getting her oil change. I don't know.
That's good, actually. I like that. Yeah, I wrote a joke. I wrote a bit last night. I'll preview a little bit for you guys. Everyone in the chat, everyone listening at home, I'll preview a bit actually I wrote. This is the start of a bit. I was saying about how women and men, the reason why there's some women that have problems is there's a lot of women that need 2 men in their lives. Now, Random, can you attest to this?
Oh, I think some women do, probably.
They need one to satisfy the emotional, one to satisfy the physical.
Yeah.
And if the two should ever meet, they're kind of like matter and antimatter. If the two ever meet on this plane of reality, then they destroy everything. Kind of like the alternative factor, like that episode of Star Trek with Lazarus. We've seen the evidence that they destroy each other. Batman versus Superman, King Kong versus Godzilla. You think we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima? No, it was some guy and some guy met another guy that his girl was going out with. Boom, leveled the whole city. We don't want to go. We don't want to go down that. But like you said, and I was saying about how the whole thing about. But once in a while, women will try to gene splice the two together, and they'll come up with that elusive hybrid called the husband. But they're saying about men have but men have an agreement. Men have this. We have an agreement never to tread on another bro's girl. We do have that agreement. It goes back all the way to ancient Rome. The first Brovius Maximus. Obviously he's there at the Roman Forum. With his other bros, with his leather sandals. They kick around a hacky sack. Of course, back then they didn't have a hacky sack. They used a dried yak testicle. They just kick around. So.
Is the ancient decree of bros before hoes.
I do decree by the Imperial Senate that bros shall proceed before hoes. And thus the bro code was born. So anyway, that's a little preview. I don't have a whole bit there yet, but that's a little preview of some of my material. Matter plus antimatter, that's how we achieve warp speed. Yeah, but like I said, Lazarus from the two dimensions. If they met, then they would destroy all of existence. So they were in that black and white world, that they locked in Mortal Kombat for all eternity.
And I'm pretty sure that bro code doesn't exist in some regions, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where, because then people will probably get pissed. But.
Well, I think you'll get like an alpha who's like, no, I want this girl, whether she's got a
I was just
going
to
to
say, otherwise we'd never get good episodes of Cops if that was the case.
Remember what Jeff Foxworthy said about women? They say they want their fantasies a dangerous man, and you picture someone like James Bond, but then it's usually somebody on an episode of Cops in a tube top hanging out of a trailer. Lock his ass up! Lock his ass up! Anything else here? Is it just me or is Rob getting dangerously close to Grandpa Simpson? He's going to start telling us about an onion he used to hang on his belt. Because that was the style at the time.
He's got an old typewriter where he sits down and writes letters all the time.
So we all used to have Walking Bird on Thanksgiving.
To whom it may concern, you have too many half-naked ladies on your website.
Yeah. Millionaires used to ride around in Zeppelins and throw dimes at us. I won't do it. I believe in God, but don't be stupid. Okay, so Rob is the Lindbergh. Yes, I'm the Lindbergh baby. Yes. I'm the Lindbergh baby. I'm actually Stu Sutcliffe. They kicked me out of the Beatles. So, it's so sad. Speaking of Stu Sutcliffe, because I'm a huge Beatle fan. You go online. I looked up Stu Sutcliffe's headstone, where he's buried in Liverpool. It's just this unassuming kind of thing. It doesn't say it makes any reference to the fifth Beatle or anything. Which is kind of sad though. The guy he had quite a bit of influence over John. If you ever saw the movie,
he might have asked not to.
Oh, the family might have said not to. They probably didn't want to turn it into.
Because we don't really know, everything. We just know mainly what's in that movie and whatever we've heard in interviews. Yeah. So,
well, like I said, Père Lachaise, where Jim Morrison is buried. It's become like a tourist attraction. I'm pretty sure people don't want. They don't want to turn into like a.
Well, not only that, I'm sure that's one thing he doesn't want to be remembered for, in a way, just because,
Yeah. Yeah, the DJD show, sad Beatles story. Yeah.
Well, because you got to remember at that time, he was pretty much looked down on as a really bad bass player. He had no qualms about that at all.
he did actually didn't know how to play bass but he won money in an art competition, and he bought a bass with money.
That's exactly how much you need for a Hofner bass.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Bioshock. Speaking of the Beatles, do you think Paul's lying when he's saying about Ellen Rigby Grahamson, Liverpool, too much coincidence? He probably had seen it, but like you said, you might have. It's like one of those things, you've seen it but you forget about it. I'm like, hey, and you pull that out from somewhere. Paul was on with Howard Stern this morning.
Was he the one who actually wrote that song though? Because John was always pulling shit from Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, and all that shit's real places.
Well, Penny Lane is one of Paul's though, so Strawberry Fields.
Well, that's what I was asking, is who actually, I mean, it does sound like a Paul song though, but
yeah. But,
I know you have that book, so you can always look it up if you had to.
You want me to look it up?
You don't have to, you bet. I'm just saying if you really wanted to.
Maybe we'll do a whole podcast where we just look up Beatles songs and just talk about
talk about the Beatles.
Fuck yeah.
See, that'd be an interesting side podcast, just Beatles talk.
You know what's even awesomer? I know that's not even a fucking word, but I'm making it a word. Is I heard today that Paul McCartney's actually coming within striking distance of me for the first time in, 30 years. And I know the tickets are going to be outrageous, but yeah, I'm going to do my best to try and get some, but I doubt it.
If you go on StubHub, here's Rob's helpful money-saving tips. If you go on StubHub the day of the show, people will try to unload them for cheap.
Yeah, generally.
But then you do run the risk of getting shut out. People do try to unload them for cheap. So
I'm just hoping that I get lucky.
Don't we all?
Yeah, and find some good Beatles tickets too.
I feel bad. I've seen Paul 18 times.
Yeah, I've not been to many concerts, so.
Yeah, so I saw him. Last time I saw him fairly recently. MetLife Stadium a couple years ago, when he did the last tour. The 2002 tour, the Driving Rain tour, was probably the best set list, though. Tyler Bashar, Lennon is co-writer. Well, yeah, they were all credited Lennon and McCartney because they wanted to be like Lieber and Stroller.
But yeah, there's the book. There's a book that Rob has where they actually break down every song and say who actually wrote what the inspiration was, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's a great book.
Oh yeah, and I have another book, The Beatles Sessions, where it has like the actual session notes from Abbey Road Studios. Go. Yeah, tells you who played what time they recorded, how many takes, what take they used. So, Eleanor Rigby was Paul with John's assistance from Donovan too. Yeah. He actually told the story again this morning about fixing a hole. When they were recording Fixing a Hole, he got a knock at the door. Guy, he's living in London at the time, single guy. Guy answers the door. Hello? Guy says, I'm Jesus Christ. He said, well, you better come in then. So he's there, sitting. The guy says he's Jesus. He makes him a cup of tea. He goes, but different time then. You can do that kind of thing. He said, listen, I'm going to a recording session tonight. We're recording new track. I think you should be there. So he brings this guy to the session with him. And John and George and Ring are like, who's this guy? He says he's Jesus. What do I know? So he sits there. He's very quiet. He sits there. Session's over. All right. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Christ. And guy leaves, and that's it. He never sees him again. So I was like, that's always one of those stories, like in those rock stories. It's like, you love hearing, like, the first time you hear, like, really? Wow. Tyler Boshark, last thing I'll say about the Beatles series, XM had top 100 Beatles songs for the weekend. I listened to like 13 times. I had a Beatles epiphany. Now I adore Hey Bulldog, Paperback Writer. Yes, Hey Bulldog is great. So anyway, Beatles great if in the mood. Strawberries, Beatles forever. Yes. Okay, we got some Beatles. I kind of wish I played real Beatles Rock Band. Can't download the songs anymore. I can never play when I'm 64. Gee, damn it. Yeah, I actually have Beatles Rock Band.
I did too, but yeah, like they said, you can't.
No, they pulled them?
I guess so.
Oh, bummer. Well, you can still play the base game though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
Yep. But I bought the Abbey Abbey Road medley, so I mean that's I bought a couple things. This is Stephen Anderson. This is never the last thing I say about the Beatles. Yes, never the last thing.
Never. You still got to get the Beatles 1 Blu-ray set, don't you, Rob?
Yes.
Better get that before that sucker's expensive.
Yes. Is it still in print?
No.
It's not in print?
I don't think so. I had to buy it used, and I got lucky and found it for like $30. So.
Let me see. Shopping. Oh, it's at Walmart. It's at Beatles 1.
How much?
Beatles 1.
You sure it's the Blu-ray and not just the CD?
Deluxe edition, Blu-ray,
how much
DVD
they want
audio,
for
and
it?
CD, $37.62.
Yeah, see, it's going up already.
Well, that's the Blu-ray, that's plus the Blu-ray audio, Blu-ray DVD, and the CD and the DVD audio.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's a
book.
mega pack.
Yeah, where it's all in like a book.
See, yeah.
But the 5.1 mixes on those are just amazing.
Amazon. No, I don't want to smile over Amazon. Standing at the stock at Southampton. Let me see. Audio cassette, Blu-ray, CD. Oh, it's in the CD vinyl. Hold on. Mode stretch while I look this up. Gonna have to place an order tonight then.
Yeah, it's worth it, man. They put videos to all the songs, all the videos HD. All the audio is 5.1 surround mix on the Blu-ray, of course. Back from the original tracks. The CD is the same CD from before. I don't know if it's the remastered versions or not, though. It could be. I would think they would
Best Buy.
Do them.
Best Buy.
Or should I say they're not technically remasters? That's not the word that aficionados like you to use. They are the remixes, which is technically better because that means they went back to the original tracks and remixed them, not just the original stereo master and turned up the volume, which that's generally what they did for remasters. So.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad, because they've done the remixes now for a couple of my favorite bands. So, Pink Floyd and Queen and Doors have all gotten them. So.
Well, I know I had like the 24 karat gold remaster of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. So, what was the difference on any of those?
Well, anything that's a remaster is, like I said, see, basically, like back when they did the original masters for these, they were set up for records mainly.
Yeah.
So what they would do for these remastered CDs is just go back to the original stereo master for the record master or whatever, and just turn up the volume or run a compressor on it.
Oh, Beatles Blu-ray standard box, $13.99.
Is it just the Blu-ray by itself?
I think so. Yeah,
That's
standard
cool.
box.
I didn't know they did that.
Why does it show me MP3s? Why does it show me MP3s?
I don't know.
Hard Day's Night Criterion Collection.
When they do the remixes, though, they actually go back to the original master tracks, load each track individually digitally, and then remix it there digitally instead of it being all the crammed down stereo track from 30, 40, 50 years ago. So, because especially like with the Beatles and anything older than the 70s, they only had hard rights and hard lefts on stereo pans. They couldn't actually pan. So
it's called
ping
pong stereo.
Yeah, so everything's crammed in one side or the other. So they did do some remixes on the stereo versions, and they sound so much better than they did before, especially on the Beatles ones. But the Pink Floyd ones, they did a lot of care with too. Same thing with Queen. So they are worth picking up the remixed versions.
This doesn't have Hey Bulldog on it though.
Yeah, but I think you got the 5.1 mix of that on the
Love Me Do For Me Do You.
So it'd just probably be a clip of that if they did.
Yeah, Love Me Do, She Loves You.
It's just got the number ones, that's why.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And it's got the okay. Okay, yeah, paperback, but still, it's good to have those.
Yeah, they're a nice collection, and like I said, if you have a 5.1 surround sound setup, it's worth it.
Yeah,
so.
because I was picking those up on bootleg videos for years and years and years and years and years and years. Like I said, but to get an official release. But the big thing is though getting all of them in one place. That's the big. To me, yeah, I always like having. Wait a minute, hold on. I think this is the one that the big box set is the one to get. Yeah, the Beatles one. This one. Let me do. Yeah, this one has everything. This one has everything. Blu-ray, CD, Blu-ray and CD.
Yeah.
And Blu-ray. Yeah. Okay. Let me do for me to you. Just shout, baby. Baby, it's you. Really.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Well, back when they first came out, like everything they did went number one.
It's got 2 versions of Day Tripper. It's got 2 versions of Rain. And it has Strawberry Fields, Within You, Without You, Tomorrow Never Knows. Really? A Day in the Life. 2 versions of Hello, Goodbye.
Yeah. There's a couple that have different versions of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think 1 and 2 of them's live and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Bulldog, Don't Let Me Down, Freeze a Bird, and finishes off with Real Love. Okay, so the $37 one is the one I'm getting.
Which it's already gone up that much since I bought it. So yeah, I would.
Well, only 9 left. Better order soon. Like you're damn straight I'm ordering soon.
Yeah.
So
it's probably not even through Walmart. Double check if it's not a seller like Amazon.
Well, this is on Amazon. Let me check. I'll check. Rob
probably a seller, yeah.
Rob ordering through Amazon. This is.
I shop all the time on my streams too. Don't worry about it.
Maybe we should just do a stream.
What Rob does. Get a video camera so people can actually see what you're doing.
So they
you just do screen capture.
Prince Caspian wants to know favorite popular movie this year. So far, I guess it'd have to be Avengers.
Yeah.
But that could change.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that, like I said, that's the one I'm ordering. Why didn't I buy that before? Yeah, Steven Anderson. There are 1 and 2 disc versions. Yeah, the 2 disc version is the one I'm getting.
Yeah. Okay.
It's called the Beatles 1+. Yeah,
I got the one that's all in a big nice book.
Now Steven Anderson, that has all the promos in, right? And from like Revolution and Hey Bulldog, those all the promos.
I think so. There's a lot of good video stuff content. I think there's 2 Blu-ray discs, isn't it? Plus the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a ton of shit on there. I know when I got it, I spent a whole day watching it and stuff. So.
Yeah, I bought a bootleg Beatles Rare promos actually years and years and years and years ago at a record show.
Also, I recommend the anthology if anybody hasn't picked that up yet either. I doubt that's going to get a Blu-ray remaster. So. Yeah,
not great menus. The only problem with that is the Beatles set is terrible. Man, they probably paid an intern to do that.
They don't put any. Well, it's not just the Beatles anymore. Almost all Blu-ray menus are shit. They can do 10 times cooler shit than they ever could with DVD, but they just don't utilize it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Most of them are just still pictures and stuff anymore. That's it.
Mary Ashmead, I love "Don't Let Me Down." Yes, "Don't Let Me Down" is a great song. When I was in that band, I wanted to do "Don't Let Me Down" and wanted to do "Helter Skelter," but they stopped me. They just no, we're not doing those. Okay, fine. They kicked me out, and then they did them. ELO, Great Mary, one of my favorite bands. Yes, ELO is very good.
Do you think that Tarantino's gonna pony up the money for Helter Skelter for that movie he's doing?
That's like that's got to be like $250,000 alone for the song rights.
He'll do it.
Yeah, I think he'll do it. Yeah,
it'll be probably the first time the Beatles have been in a movie since what? Ferris Bueller.
No, they were actually Bronx Tale.
Were they in Bronx Tale?
Yeah, they played "Come Together" and the guys in the bar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Wow, I forgot about that. God, that must have cost a bunch of money.
Steven Anderson, how is that Ron Howard Beatles like full Shea Stadium concert as bonus features?
Right.
That is actually a very good documentary. if you went to see it at the movies, you got to see the Shea Stadium concert. I'm not sure if they're going to do that as a separate release.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the whole release is. Yeah, now that you say that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I think the documentary's still on Hulu or whatever.
Yeah, but it's good. That's good. But if it's that was actually great. It was remastered in 4K. The problem with that was Sid Bernstein, the guy who was the promoter of that concert. He said he had rights to the. He said he had rights. He owned that footage, but he didn't.
Now, is it true that they re-recorded the live album for that, and that's not really the real live recording? I thought I heard something like that.
For the Shea Stadium, no.
Yeah, the original record.
No, that's the.
I know the one now is
raw audio.
But I thought the original one. I thought I heard rumors that they re-recorded it because the original audio was so bad back then.
Well, yeah, that's what I heard too. That like you couldn't hear any of the music
until now.
Yeah,
when they redid it, they actually were able to go back and fix them. Like I thought I heard. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard. Now that you say it too, random. I think I did read it somewhere, but.
Best and worst Beatles movie. Best is obviously Hard Day's Night. No argument there. Or Yellow Submarine.
I was gonna say Yellow Submarine, but Yellow Submarine. They're technically not in it. They are only at the end. They don't even do their own voices.
worst Beatles movie, probably toss up between. Let It Be is a good document.
Magical Mystery Tour is kind of hard to watch.
Help is not very good, save for the musical scenes.
It has its moments, though.
Yeah, the Blu-ray is nice.
Steven Anderson, the live record is Live at the Hollywood Bowl. Never heard of it. I used to have it. I thought it was pretty good. The sound is actually pretty good for what they did with it at the time. Now I imagine it would be better though. There was never Shea Stadium. Yeah, there was never a Shea Stadium album. It was on television. Yes.
Okay, that's what I. Okay, I'm probably getting the two mixed up then. But I thought I had read something like the live album technically wasn't live. They had to re-record it because the audio from the actual concerts were unusable.
Yeah. I'd love to get my hands on a DVD release of the two Japanese shows. I really would.
Oh, the Budokan and
yes, the Budokan from '66. Yeah, the black suits and the white suits.
I was gonna say that's one thing that the Beatles are very much lacking is live concerts. I got tons of Queen, and I know I got a few, but I can get a lot more Pink Floyd even.
Yeah.
With the Beatles, you can't find any full concerts.
No.
Well, they didn't even do a whole lot of concerts towards the end. Like, they didn't like go appear live. That's how kind of music video.
No, they quit.
Started
they kind of started. Yeah, they were kind of responsible for music video in a way.
Well, and Ricky Nelson, but.
And Queen,
there's actually good. If you can find it now, because the stuff gets pulled from YouTube all the time. There's actually a good television show that they were on in Sweden called Drop In from 1963, which it's got really good audio, and it's just maybe 2 months before they came to America, and it's you see them there because they were huge in Europe already, and you just keep thinking in 6 weeks everything changes. Just everything changes, and everything changes forever.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you find it, if you can find it, it's a great. They play about maybe 20 minutes, and the audience is quite literally sitting on top of them. Really. Opinion: Yoko Ono, yay or nay? Nay.
In what way?
Yoko Ono wanted to meet a Beatle. That was her thing. She would force herself into their offices. She jumped in between John and Cynthia in the limousine, and she would be hanging out at Abbey Road Studios all day and all night. The guards used to joke that she was going to handcuff herself to the fence. She still says to this day that she had no idea who they are. It was 1965.
How do you not know who they were?
At the height of Beatlemania, how can you not know who these guys are? And when John said, "Oh, she had no idea who we were." I'm like, What kind of meeting was
you
that?
Bought that.
What kind of meeting was it? Are you sure you've never heard of us? You know, we're on the telly quite a bit.
Oh, no, telly. No.
Are you sure you've never heard of us?
She was kind of a performance artist, though, and I can imagine that kind of performance art crowd being super, oh no, I'm not going to watch television or listen to the radio.
Yeah. She knows.
Yeah, they're unavoidable.
Her brother lived in London. Her brother lived in London. Oh no, set up Lennon with the other woman. Yeah, May Pang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't really seem to care what he did as long as they were together in the end.
Yeah, the Lost Weekend, which lasted.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
The infamous Lost Weekend.
There's pictures of him dancing with who was it? With the guy in drag, and Elton John taking pictures. You know. Oh, going to his Japanese. That's why she passed him off. Yeah. Rob, have you been to Coney Island? Actually, I haven't been out to Coney Island. No, I haven't been out to Coney Island yet. I try to pass myself as a New Yorker to avoid stalkers. That's why. Because New York's a hell of a lot bigger city than where I am now. But I get around. I can get myself around New York pretty well though. So I've been out to I took the train out to Willets Point to see McCartney at Citi Field. You know, so I can take the 7 train. I could probably take the R. The R doesn't run anymore. I don't think. I thought Paul recommended her at her art gallery to John. Yeah. I think you're right. I saw the place. When I went down the part of London it's called Mason's Ward. It's actually a pretty cool part of London, and behind it, behind the art gallery in the same sort of plaza is what was called the Bag of Nails or something like that, where Jimi Hendrix used to play. It's not there anymore, obviously, but so.
I just remember hearing like the UFO Club from like the early Pink Floyd days, but
yeah, so yeah, there's that story about how Sgt. Pepper was released on a Friday, and Paul went to go see Jimi Hendrix on Sunday, and he opened with it. And so he had the whammy bar, and it says, "Hey, is Eric Clapton in the audience, man? Yeah, come and tune this baby for me, man."
Revolver or Sgt. Pepper?
Yeah, the Bag of Nails. That was the club. The Bag of Nails.
Man.
Revolver. I like Revolver. Rubber Soul is my personal favorite.
Well, there are better songs on other albums, but pound for pound, I'd say Sgt. Pepper is probably nearly their best album, if not one of the best albums of all time.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, Sgt. Pepper.
Sgt. Pepper is a greater piece of artistic work.
As a whole, yes. The only thing probably competing with it would be the White Album, I would say. Even though they don't care for the White Album, from what they've said in interviews, but...
Oh, who doesn't love Glass Onion?
But then again, Paul's like, "Oh, shut up! It's the bloody White Album."
Yeah. There's that one intersectional piece where Paul is like, "Can you take me back where I came from? Can you take me back?" What, he snuck into the studio late at night?
Then again, Abbey Road does have some great moments on it as well. So,
oh yeah,
I mean the end, the whole medley at the end there is just, I don't know, pound for pound.
John was lamenting how John was lamenting how people like the Beatles too much. Bringing up Jesus was a bad idea, though. Well, it was John's own fault, though, because John.
But he's not wrong and wasn't wrong.
Yeah. They were really bigger than Jesus, for sure.
Yeah. But John, John needed discipline. He needed somebody to push him. And Yoko wasn't it. Yoko would let him do whatever the hell he wanted.
Well, as a Beatles fan, I will say, regardless, I know John Lennon was a dick.
Oh, yeah.
Plain and simple. And, So I mean, it wasn't above him to kind of say something. And he's not wrong, though. He wasn't wrong, even in his explanation afterwards when they were, being protested against and shit like that. But this band was so much bigger than that. They weathered that. What other band in history would weather something like that? Seriously.
Yeah.
Look at what happened to the Dixie Chicks. Yeah, no shit, right?
I used to like the Dixie Chicks. I thought it's like, oh, that little one's kind of cute. It's just
no, I do too. But I'm just saying, look, it didn't take shit for them to be, thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
Hardly heard from them.
They should release an album. Hey, looks like we were right.
I think that was the name of their comeback album. Oh, something like that. Anyway, oh boy, we could probably go on forever here, but
yeah. Maybe it's time we wrap this baby up.
We're gonna say we're well over 2 hours now.
Yeah, we are. We're well over 2 hours.
But if you enjoy our live shows, we do have a live show coming up Sunday on the main channel with Andre, and I believe it's at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Correct, Rob?
I think so.
That is the plan, Stan. So keep an eye out for that. Rob, why don't you take us out?
Okay, if you guys like what we do, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified of what we do here. What do we do here? I don't know, whatever. But anyway, I'm still on. I
answered that earlier. Somebody asked that in the questions. What we do here? So.
We self-lubricate. That's what we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. I'm still on Amazon, looking to place my order.
And we shop.
and we listen to Rob shop. That's funny. Yeah. This is actually the type of conversations that we've had off the air. I will talk about something, and then Rob's like, "Let me look that up. I know what I'm ordering." It's like,
yeah,
it's like with the Critic, and I don't know, a couple other things too.
Yeah, I'm looking at my Critic box set actually, and the whole series is on for free on Crackle. But that's all right. I don't mind
for now.
But it's only $10. So I mean, yeah. But anyway, like I said, check us out on Patreon. We got links to if you want to throw a little cash our way, you support the show. You can get all kinds of bonuses, bonus content. You can get early access to audio recordings. You get lost episodes, outtakes, bloopers, behind the edge making of videos. You can see the behind the edge. Like I said, you can see the story about how Midnight's Edge came to be.
Well, it's more of an audio telling by Andre at this point, but yes.
And I always say, if you Beatles chat could keep me going for days. Keep me going for days too. Believe me. I do have my guitar case out too, so that's
I just wish we could play the music with it. I would love to have a music show where we could actually dive into early versions of songs, B-sides versions, whatever kind of version, not just the main ones, but yeah. But like I always say, check out Random's channel. You check out her Patreon. Random, what's your channel?
Is Mecha Random 42.
Yes. Check out Mecha Random 42. You have a Patreon?
I have a Patreon. It is Random Game User 42 still, but there are links all over my channel for it.
Yes. So anyway, check her out. So throw a little love her way, and she love you long time. But
Giggity.
Giggity. That's why I like you. You play right along.
How much does that cost? What can we get for $10? That should have been the credits of Full Metal Jacket right there.
Yeah.
Take us out.
And like I always say, if you don't have the means to support us, click subscribe, share with your friends, and share with your enemies, because as always, we could not do this without you. Thank you to everyone still watching.
And the enemies love us.
In the chat. And the enemy, oh yeah, we have the best. We have the best enemies, don't we?
Don't we?
We do. Yes. So
they're
anyway,
almost as loyal as you guys are.
They listen to us because they want to hear what we say next. So, but anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody out there. We will catch you next time. Don't forget to tune in Sunday.